Good morning, everyone. My name is Thirikon Tantavutho.
My name is Vipada Kongphung.
Today, we will talking about unmanned aircraft system for media production in part of an extension of defense technology. This is my profile and experiences. I am a flight support officer and researcher from Unmanned Aircraft System Training Center at Defense Technology Institute or DTI. My work is related to the unmanned aircraft system in part of network, communication, telemetry, video link, avionics, and research and develop the UAS prototype and counter UAS or anti-drone. Sometimes I am a UAS pilot.
This is my profile and experience. I am Defense Technology Information Officer and multi-rotor pilot from Defense Technology Institute.
So, this is outline today. The first is introduction. We will briefing about the UAS, the advantages of UAS in many fields, DTI research and development projects, and introduce UAS media production for defense technology. The second is UAS media production challenges. In this topic, we will summarize the issues for UAS media production in part of non-technical and technical issues. The third is UAS media production on mission. We will discuss and recommend the guideline for UAS media production, which including three parts: preparation, operating, and post-flight. The fourth is UAS cinematography for defense technology. We will talking about the technique and coordinate for UAS cinematography, and the last topic is conclusion and future opinions. Welcome to UAS world. Unmanned Aircraft System or UAS. All unmanned aerial vehicle or UAV or drone is an aircraft system without pilot on board or the pilot is on the ground. It can be operated manually and autonomously for takeoff, landing, holding the position, orbiting, and moving with the waypoint by remote control or command control station. UAS is very popular for applying in many fields. For examples, agriculture, search and rescue, surveillance and reconnaissance, terrain mapping and cartography, military mission, enjoyment and media production. Defense Technology Institute or DTI under Ministry of Defense of Thailand is responsible for research and development on defense technology, which require approval from Defense Council. The output prototypes and innovation have impact not only on the military but also civilian purposes. These are some innovative and developed output by DTI. DTI has developed several size unmanned aircraft systems, such as mini UAV as shown on the screen, small and medium in accordance with various uses purposes. The another are amphibious armed personnel carrier or AAPC, armed personnel carrier APC, ground-to-ground multi-purpose launcher, and multi-purpose craft or MPC. UAS can be a major tool for defense technology media production. There are a lot of media types, such as photos, videos, newspaper, poster, presentation, and website. The UAS technology can support experimental research and development processes and show usability, performance, and efficiency. The UAS for media production can offer the degree of freedom superior to specific physical constraints in camera crane, dollies, steadicam, and camera track. The main purpose of UAS media production to create a unique scene, which costs less than shooting on a helicopter or plane. UAS photography has many advantages in creating map, sightseeing, recording, evidence, researching, and rescuing cinematographic media production. The UAS media production creates a fascinating perspective of pictures or videos, as well as captivate the audiences more exciting than common camera from a bird-eye view. However, there are many limitations and issues for operating UAS. In this study, we separated into issues, non-technical and technical issues. The first is non-technical issues. They are related to flight regulation, data privacy and laws, and coordination. The first regulation in Thailand are released by the Civil Aviation Authority of Thailand or CAAT about the UAV. This regulation covers various topics such as UAS type, weight, flight height and radius, restrict area, and distance between object and person. For the data privacy and laws, in many countries, the legal restrictions are related to the privacy concern human faces or facial images and videos if it is not agreed upon. For the coordination, this issue is communication misunderstanding which is caused by poor collaboration among stakeholders, such as UAS staff, mission commanders, internal pilot, external pilot, payload operator, technician, media production director, staff, air traffic control or flight rule operator. The next issue is technical issues. Technical issues are related directly to the operation of UAS. The first is pilot skill and competency. The UAS accident rate has been increasing rapidly and the cause of this error includes skill-based error, poor decision-making, and perception error. The second is mission and scenario planning. This issue is mission requirements and objectives, which are important because they are related to the management planning, safety, and communication. The third is UAS classification. They are classified in different aspects for suitable mission. They may be classified by weight, operation, altitude, mission radius, endurance, and typical use. For example, mini, small, medium. The fourth is environment. The UAS pilot should be concerned with sun angle, illumination, cloudiness, wind velocity and direction, weather, humidity, location, and georeferencing or ground point for the mission. The fifth is UAS system. UAS system is related to the limited payload, limited battery life or flight time, disturbing sound from the engine and propellers, autonomous UAS software, line of sight between the UAS pilot and aircraft, and unplanned missions. The sixth is communication system. This issue is very important because it is the measure of the system capability and efficiency to communicate with the aircraft. And the last is UAS cinematography. This issue is including to the techniques and skill for media production. We will talking in more detail for UAS cinematography. UAS cinematography can separate that into topics: the framing shot type or FST and the UAS camera motion trajectory or CMT. The framing shot type is based on visual inspection or the scene perspective. This is the example of FST: extreme long shot, medium shot, and close-up. For extreme long shot, the audience will see and feel in the wide scene. Many movies use this type for the beginning. There are many framing shot types, and these are for the example. The next is UAS camera motion trajectory. The CMT is related to the motion of the UAS or UAS movement and maneuver. For example, orbit, flyby, follow the object, and fly over. These are many studies and practice in this area, which provide some recommendation and guidelines. However, today we will sharing from the UAS operation experiences. The UAS media production on missions should follow or use this procedure for the successful mission. There are preparation, operation condition, and post-flight. Preparation is the first thing to do. It contains in 6 topics. Firstly, UAS pilot must comply the flight regulation and laws. Many countries have own flight regulation and laws. Secondly, UAS pilot must understand the mission and storyboard, such as the flight path, the UAS movement, and camera motion. Thirdly, UAS pilot must understand the mission area for the obstacle operation areas, such as takeoff and landing area, emergency landing area, and the signal usage. Fourthly, UAS pilot must plan and choose the compatible UAS for the suitable mission. The fifth is UAS pilot must concentrate the weather forecast, and the sixth is UAS pilot should dry run and test flight in the real environment before the start mission. When the preparation is over, the next procedure is operation condition. These are including the UAS sometimes can't take off or landing on the ground. They sometimes operate by the pilot hands. The second is ground point, are very important because all flying missions are based on pilot visualization. The third is UAS sometimes has unreceived GPS signal problems from the magnetic field, obstacle, and signal reflection. UAS pilot must carefully control the aircraft. The magnetic field may occur when UAS take off on the metal ground and take a result to the UAS altitude measurement may get some errors. The fourth is UAS pilot must be aware the effects from the military missions, such as pressure reflection from the shooting launcher and communication interference from the high-gain radar. The fifth is battery endurance planning isn't corresponding to the mission plan. Many missions sometimes changing urgently and the UAS pilot must planning to follow the mission. So the battery planning must be changed to support immediately. The next is UAS pilot should have backup plans. The changing mission may affect time, light, objects, and elements in the media production. So the UAS pilot must have the backup plan to support the changing mission immediately. The last is UAS pilot must operate aircraft carefully. in an area of valley, mountain, sea, wide, or place of obviously changing weather or wind and bird. The last procedure is post-flight. Many U.S. pilots must not forget this process because of the safety and readiness for the UAS. The first is U.S. pilot must do post-flight inspection immediately after finishing the flight through inspection and cleaning. The second is U.S. pilot must record flight operation data such as pilot logbook and aircraft logbook. The third is U.S. pilot must periodically check and maintain the system. And the last is U.S. pilot and production team must check the integrity of recording file before going to the next production process. For the next part, we will describe the UAS cinematography for defense technology.
UAS cinematography for defense technology is a combination of engineering, art and management to control the aircraft and camera. Shoot the best perspective photo and video, coordinate with the stakeholder, and do the media production process. We will talking about this topic on the next page. For the safety, UAS pilot only use the wide and long shot framing tray, but another tray can use carefully. The professional UAS pilot must have knowledge, competency, and skill on controlling both aircraft and camera. Because of it is a combination of science and art. Today, the camera assistant function and application from UAS photography are modern and advanced to operate camera easily, such as panorama mode, orbit mode. However, camera manual setting and mode may provide better scene because UAS pilot can customize the media detail and control movement by themselves. Most of military innovative research output has been tested during daytime. The media production process has been performed along with the testing procedure. The most photo format in UAS photography is RAW photo format because this format may produce a better photo quality than JPEG, but JPEG requires less time in processing. Manual camera setting may get better general result than automatic camera setting, but the automatic setting can take several shots continuously. The 4K video resolution may create the best scene for video recording. However, the another video resolution may use data storage and produce time less than 4K. Some functions are the same. In common DSLR camera setting, for the example, white balance width is the process of removing unrealistic color to render white in the photo and manage the color temperature to balance warm and cold tone. The shutter speed is determined by the frame per second (FPS). Therefore, it is related to the bit of motion blur. Lowest ISO value may reduce noise for light up, but the high value can show diffuse light problem. A histogram function can set the exposure which support the dynamic range to camera. EV compensation should be configured before shooting photo or video in order to compensate the light. The filter is another alternate solution for reducing light intensity, reflection, and noise. Panorama shooting is captivate to the audience for showing wide and overall scene, while the point of view is suitable for emphasizing an object.
So this is the example of the project. This is the last topic for today, the conclusion and future opinions. We hope our study will give the ideas, guidelines, recommendations, and raise the awareness to use the UAS for any purposes. However, there are some opinions related to the UAS in Thailand. The first is the approved UAS training course in Thailand are not many. There are many UAS training courses, but not the approved course by the authorized. The second is the UAS pilot in Thailand does not have the basic controller skill and safety for UAS. Many pilots believe that if they can control the UAS, so they can operate in any places, but not for the safety usage. The UAS pilot must operate by carefully controlling. The third is there is no UAS centralized there is no UAS central organization in Thailand, which are including trained pilots, support staff, advice for the UAS maintenance. The last is the UAS standard and flight procedure are not widely promoted. Thank you for the presentation.